Welcome to The Open Queue, a podcast where we talk about entertainment, pop culture, and the daily life of navigating the entertainment industry as a creative. I'm your host, Jacques Omari, and I'm joined by my business partner, Charles Malone. We'll sometimes have other creative guests on to tell us about their journey in the industry, dealing with their ups and downs, struggles, and successes. We'll also touch on current changes to the business of television and film, as well as cue up what we're watching, listening to, or a piece of art we've been inspired by. The music you're listening to is called Materialist, from the movie Materialist, composed by Daniel Pemberton. And now, let's get queued up. Hey, welcome back to The Open Queue.
Queue is open.
Yes. So it is, I guess, what you would consider fall now, right? I think, right? Like fall equinox is happening, I think, or something like that. Fall. So this is what is considered, at least on the East Coast, affectionately as cuffing season. So this is when romance is in the air. And one of the things that has been going along in the industry news is a lot of romance novels have been picked up, or young adult romance novels.
Yes.
Yeah. So a ton of that. So for this particular episode, we figured we'd talk about some of the rom-coms or movies that we like, as well as a movie that we watched recently, which I think we have interesting thoughts about.
Yeah, I mean, really quick. I wonder if they call it cuffing. I'm pretty sure they call it cuffing season everywhere now.
Yeah, I think so, probably.
But does like LA or like the warmer places really go through a cuffing season? Winter cuffing season falls, like it's gonna get cold, and it's better to have a warm body through the winter, and then you break up around springtime to be single during the summer.
Right,
rinse and repeat. It's always like summer
in LA.
Yeah,
that's why I said East Coast, because I don't know. I don't know if they really have a legitimate cuffing season. For all those listeners, our LA listeners, hit us up. Let us know if that's a thing.
With love, let's talk romance, rom-com.
Yeah.
Love.
First, the usual question, anything that you were inspired by since I last talked to you?
I don't think so. But no, I don't think it was it was an exhausting time as the last time I talked to you. I'm inspired by surviving the last time I talked to you.
Hey, no, that's good. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you're just trying to survive. You're trying to make it, trying to just get to the next week. And with all the stuff going on in the industry, I know that what was it? Last time I think we had talked on a podcast, Paramount may have been thinking about buying Warner Brothers. Now it's like Netflix. There's an AI actor or something like that.
Condemning and a bunch of people that you can't replace us.
So surviving, that's pretty inspiring, I would say, in this moment in time.
That has nothing to do with the world. Yeah.
Nice.
But I love love.
That's inspiring.
Yeah. How about yourself?
For me, I was actually looking at watching an article or a TikTok or something, I can't remember what it was, about Norman Rockwell, the painter. And it was just interesting because they were going about the history. I like his paintings. I think his paintings are, what people consider classic American, whatever, for the most part. But what I thought was really interesting is that they were talking about how a lot of his paintings were for magazines, and he was drawing what it is that they asked him to do, which is, like the Thanksgiving and all the famous ones that you talk about. But after his contract was up with I think, this certain magazine, I think another magazine, I think it was Life or something, wanted him to do art for him. And he specifically put it in his contract that he was allowed to do whatever it is that he wanted. So that's when he did the drawing with Ruby Bridges, the first black girl going into with schools, and it had the N-word written. He started doing things which I think he considered the darker side of America, the things that we didn't want to really discuss or talk about, more civil rights, more showing the landscape of what America really is versus just the normal everyday Protestant WASP, whatever it is that the term that they. And I thought that was really inspiring as an artist in his time, as a white male, that he, as an artist, was more interested in representing what he saw and how he felt than just doing the commerce that had gotten him to the level that he had. And it just reminded me that at the end of the day, art really is about the human experience. And it's not, as much as we live in an industry, in a world where business, commerce, and art have to find friendship, at the end of the day, art is about the human soul. And so just inspired me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Especially with the world, as you said, that we're living in now. There is hope.
Yeah, we'll make this a whole political show, but I'm just going to cry inside.
Well, I think with that, though, this is why this is a good topic, because I think we need a little bit of love in the world. So I'm excited to jump in to the rom-com. And I know that started off because my sister asked me to watch a Netflix TV show, Forever. And I watched the first episode and a half. It's cute. It's nice.
Wait, so you're not done?
No, I'm not done. But you can go ahead and spoil it if you want to discuss. I know that's one of the things we want to talk about, as well as The Materialist.
Yeah, which, well, we'll talk about this. Not necessarily a rom-com, but surely it's still it falls into the romance category. So someone at a coffee shop was praising, like, oh, you got to watch The Materialist. It's really good. We'll let's segue into that. Let's just jump into this.
You got some strong feelings on this one.
This review. I mean, going into it, I forgot who directed it, and once I was reminded while watching it, I was like, "Oh, this movie makes sense," because I was not in the large majority of people who overly enjoyed Past Lives. So I think her name's Celine Song, the director, right? Past Lives. I thought the movie captured the idea of longing, the way there were like these really long takes, and especially when you're talking to someone who like there's still some residual like emotions there, and there's these words unsaid. She did really well in Past Lives, but the movie was brutally slow. Like the pacing was absolutely awful. And I kind of like.
No, I know pacing is a big thing for you, so
yeah, it kind of like takes you out of the movie. If for me personally, in my own personal opinion, when I find myself going like, how long is this movie, or like how much more time is this movie? That's not a good sign, because I'm like,
yeah, because you're checking out at that point.
Yeah, I do the little clicker thing on the TV, and it's like there's still an hour and 19 minutes. You're like, how is there still an hour and 19 minutes left? But that's not necessarily like a critique of this movie. The way it opened, I was like, maybe this is a rom-com.
You mean The Materialist, right?
Yes. Getting back to The Materialist.
Yeah. So, with that, spoiler alert, because, I'm the guy to do that. If you have not seen The Materialist now, check out The Materialist, and we'll probably briefly touch on Forever too. Come back
A24.
after you've seen those. Let's dive in. A24, Materialist. It's about a matchmaker who I guess is caught between two love interests is the easiest synopsis I could put.
Yeah, I mean, she's caught between, the stereotypical or the social norm of, do I marry for comfortability or do I marry for love?
Right.
While she simultaneously, as a matchmaker, setting women up to like get the thing that they want, like check all the boxes. And it's Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal, the main leads. Coming into this, because the person who recommended it was a comedy writer themselves, I thought that maybe this was a rom-com. It's not. It's definitely more of a romance film.
Right.
But what made me think it was a rom-com was it opens with two like cavemen, like a cave woman and a caveman. He like makes her a ring out of a flower and slides it on her finger. And I'm like, okay, they're making it, it was kind of like cute and funny. I wondered, is everyone to a degree influenced by Kubrick, because it's very 2001 Space Odyssey?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. And funny enough, that's what made me think it wasn't a comedy when I first saw that opening. I actually thought that maybe I clicked on the wrong movie, and I was like, am I watching a rom-com? Because it felt kind of serious and like deep, like character study. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I thought it was an artist who was trying to make a joke and taking themselves too seriously. Like,
okay.
Kind of like our other friend director who's like, all right, I can tell you like everything has to have a soul, even when I'm trying to be funny.
You're right. Yeah.
But the rest of this movie, man, not only was it poorly paced, it was really hard for me to like watch and get into the movie, because I think a really close comp, at least like pacing and dialogue wise, and I don't know if you've seen this film, is A Killing of a Sacred Deer.
No, I haven't
it's
seen
like
that yet.
Yorgos.
Yeah.
Everyone's so monotone, and it's like, you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk, and there's no overlap how people talk to each other. Sometimes we do talk over each other. Sometimes like it just really is like,
it felt like a line reading almost.
Yeah.
Like I said my line. No, you said your line. Yeah.
and it was just so dry and preachy. So it was like, on top of it, it was like overly poignant and like ridiculously on the nose that I had a really hard time. Even when they did say some things that I felt like, okay, it just felt like overly preachy and very slow.
Interesting. Okay. So I think I had like a slightly different opinion from you on this. And that is, go ahead. Look like you want something.
No. So hold it. These are my like good takes. I haven't started on the hot takes of how I feel about this movie. Go for it.
Okay. So for me, at first I thought, as it started going along, I was like, oh, okay, there's some good lines in here. I thought this was okay. The latter half of the movie is when I was like you, where a notification popped on my phone and I started looking at something else. And then I saw an Instagram thing that was interesting. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I paused this movie for like 15 minutes to joke around with somebody. And I just was like, I need to finish this movie. And so I do feel like the energy dropped off somewhere. What I did like about the setup of it is I was like, okay, they're just kind of poking at modern dating, which I thought, okay, cool. At least you're trying to do something and make light of the whole perspective of things that people want. But I think it was not what I was expecting. I, like you, was expecting something absolutely hilarious and funny, kind of like, I don't know, Kate and Leopold for me or something like that. You know, one of those classic Harry Met Sally kind of things. And this just wasn't it for me. That's all I
because it wasn't a rom-com.
Yeah.
So I think it was another close like romance comp instead of just like the art or how it was made or the director's intentions. It felt more like it wanted to be a more serious Notebook, right? Because she's caught between, she has to choose.
I still didn't feel like I
No, I didn't capture it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of get the essence of what it was going for. I do like the end message. She still does choose love over at the end. But let me take off my hat and put on the other hat.
Yes.
Hot take.
All right. Hit me.
It was so desperate and pathetic. I hated like the majority of these characters, and maybe it did reflect a lot of the dating scene, or maybe how the director views like the dating or their personal experience, where people are really judgy and have too high of expectation. On top of it being slow, I kind of just disliked all the characters because I'm like, dude, everyone sucked. There was like almost no one for me to root for besides Chris Evans. Like,
that was it. I didn't care. And to be honest, even Chris Evans, bless his heart, because I felt like this man was really trying to pour his soul out in his acting in this kind of thing. Pedro, I felt like Pedro's my guy. Like, I felt like he was cool with this. Like, that's Pedro. Like, he's charming. That's
yeah.
Chris, I was like, yeah, I feel like this guy is like, yeah, I'm trying to put in work. No offense. I did not understand his love for Dakota Johnson's character. I was like, why?
Well, how much? Okay, now I'm not saying anything about the director personally, but I wonder how much of like when you write or direct is like the artist is like somewhere in there in the artist is the artist's soul or a little like reflection of the artist. And like, man, be nicer to yourself if that's the case, because like, geez, man, they're just like the main character had so much like self-loathing.
Yes.
And like it stank of like desperation. And even from like Pedro Pascal, like I get that there are people who are extremely insecure and they're trying to go to extremes to feel good about themselves. I know a couple people that would probably, like, if they had the money, do the height extension.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Pedro Pascal's character does a leg extension where he gains like 6 inches.
It's just, okay, there's this scene, as someone who is 5'6", she was like, you were 5'6" before this? So when Pedro Pascal says yes, he like lowers himself down to her height. And he was like, would you still have, I don't think you would have talked to, it was just so hilarious. Like, me and my fiance burst out laughing because he just had this really pathetic face on and with his little scrunched legs. I was like, oh, there probably is short dudes that feel that way. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but like, you're born with what you're born with. And I think there's so much in media that telling us like, we're not good enough.
Yes.
And like, it's like, it's just stop chasing people that aren't into you. How about that? That'd be my rom-com if we're just romance advice. Like, stop chasing people who are you into. Lower your expectations a bit.
I think that's what like bothered me more so than
the Chris Evans thing. Like, Why are you in love with this? No.
It wasn't even that. Like when they were in the restaurant and she's telling Pedro Pascal why she's not good enough for him or whatnot. I literally said to the TV, Pedro, run from her. Like, this is not a woman you want to be with. Anyone that's telling you they're not good enough for you, you don't need to be with. They're telling you everything you need to know.
The thing my mom used to tell me is like, if someone's telling you who they are, believe them.
Yeah. Believe them the first time.
Yeah.
She's saying she is not good for you, which means you will be fighting her insecurity through your whole relationship.
So
drop that.
So I'm not like trying to surmise too much of the directors insecure themselves, and clearly it's like art reflecting. But just it was less romantic and really sad and pathetic to me.
Yeah, I didn't get the sense of like love from it that I thought you would get from a romance movie, like a sense of hopefulness. Like there are some lines in there I thought were really good. Like she does say something to like Pedro about love is that thing that I'm paraphrasing, like you can't control, which I think is why they call it falling in love. Yeah, it's not something that you can just control. It's something that it's a feeling. It's something that kind of overwhelms, and it's something that you work on and you get that kind of deep understanding. There are great lines in this movie. There's another one that I thought was really interesting about, like in the beginning when she was talking about finding a nursing home partner. Because I mean, like if you're looking at a relationship thing, you're thinking about the long term, in my opinion, of like, hey, this is somebody I want to walk this journey of life with. Not necessarily you're looking for the person that's going to take care of you, but you're thinking on the level of this is somebody that I care about long term.
The only that really stuck out to me, like I said, like, this is not going to be a love quotable movie, at least not for me. I think the closest thing was Chris Evans saying like, oh, when I see you, I see old wrinkles and kids that look like you. That one is the only one that I really think I get. But when Pedro Pascal and her were first talking at the wedding, and she was like, well, dating's hard because like X, Y, and Z, love is easy.
Right.
I completely disagree. And not in the sense that Pedro did. And he was like, well, I find love to be the hardest thing. As in him, I'm like, I think generally we romanticize relationships, and much like all forms of success, we look at the iceberg that you can see, the tip of like, oh, this is what a successful relationship looks like, without knowing all of the complexities and battles that were fought to make it to 20, 30 years of marriage. You think like, oh, well, they just never fought. How do you know? You're just like placing all the things that you wish and think that probably goes on behind closed doors. Love takes work. Like, I don't care like what type of like relationship you're in, like monogamy is going to get monotonous and boring and routine. And there is a degree of maintenance that goes into keeping the spark alive and like keeping the romance. Like it's not just like, oh, we have such a hard dating and I fall in love with someone and then it's happily ever after where just love is going to carry you through, is unrealistic and sets people up for failure.
And that's what I mean about there's certain moments that I think the movie does make sense when it's talking about like the check boxes. Because I do think people feel like love is just a checkbox. It's like, great, love you, checkbox, and I'm done. And what you just said right there is it's maintenance. It is communication. It is hard work. It is knowing how to fight well. Not that you don't fight, but you know how to fight well with the other person. And you know how to make up well with the other person after you fight. It's knowing that this is not a power play, but a relationship with goals that you're setting to go to something. I think a lot of people look at this as like some kind of power dynamic. And the minute that comes into play, then yeah, your relationship is difficult because you're not interested in the person, you're interested in power. Go be a CEO. They get plenty of power. Like, go boss people around. And so this, I think I really was wanting to feel, I guess, the
love or romance or like conquers all feeling you get out of a. This wasn't even like, yeah, I'm not a, and it's greatly reviewed. And I think it's one of these things that if you're trapped at a festival and you have to watch this movie, it works because you're forced into watching it because you can't check your phone or can't. And then everyone gets up and then you're pressured into like clapping a 15-minute, standing ovation at TIFF. And you're like, first of all, I'm not giving anyone a 15-minute standing ovation for anything. You ever stand up and do anything for 15 minutes straight? Dumb. Yeah. If I'm at the festival and you see me sit down after I'll clap for you, I clap for you. They're like, I did, and I'm not doing this for 15 minutes. That's dumb. And I'm not going to be peer pressured and herd mentality of doing something so foolish. No. Same thing with like, I'm not going to be pressured by reviews to be like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. This was like really good because like audience review says so or critic review says so. I still think The Dark Knight is a really overrated movie and the best parts are the Joker.
Right. Where's the mute button? Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that. See, even the machine knew you were wrong.
Oh, I never remember where those buttons are.
All right. So then I have a couple of questions for you, like on that. There is a line in there, not to pressure you, but I'm curious about what your thought is, where it says marriage is a business deal. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't necessarily, I don't really have one. It's just like marriage is a business deal. I think to some people that's the case for sure. Me personally, I was someone who never thought that I would personally get married because like, why do we need to involve contracts for love? And then I met my fiance and like, it's important to her and therefore it's important to me. I have a really simple equation. So this is a person, again, my own personal opinion.
Yeah, no, that's what we're here for.
It is like the way I personally approach love and compromise and my own relationship is like, if it's important to you, I'm going to make it important to me. That's it. Like, there's no, why do I need anything else? This would make you happy. If it's not compromising my like value, like if my fiance was like, yeah, I need you to go murder at least 15 people for me, then I'd be like, okay, well, that's wild, right? I'm using
no Bonnie and Clyde for you.
I'm being an extremist here for the sake of the example, but generally people like come in and like, even if you do have similar things that align, there are always going to be compromises. And I don't mind compromising because like, if it makes you happy, that's enough for me. And I would love to see you happy. Not in a submissive way, just more so like...
No, but in a sacrificial way.
Yeah, like
love is a sacrifice.
And it's not even a big sacrifice. Like my partner's like really... Like family is a big thing, right? And I knew that if anything happened to their parents, we would have to like relocate. And from the jump, I was willing to do that. I was like, I can do essentially my work anywhere. And for you, like clearly this is important to you. So like, I don't need to be anywhere specifically. So like easy win. Or if like... they like me to make something in a specific way. It makes you happy. It's that simple. It makes you happy. Bam. Why do we need to do a back and forth? Like, makes you happy. Okay.
No, I think that is an excellent answer. I was just very curious because that's what it seemed like they were kind of driving at in this movie, which I also didn't necessarily agree with. I get where it came from.
Oh, before we move on to the Forever TV show, I think Materialist is a great one. I had a friend that will remain nameless that I used to like be their almost like confidant for like their dating. Like they'd go out and they would date and we would chat like, oh, how's the dating going? One day I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's like, oh, I met a guy. He has attributes that I like. And I stopped them. Mid-thing, I was like, they have attributes that you like? I think that's a no. And they started laughing. Because if you're breaking it down to attributes that they like, then like I think you kind of have your answer that you're trying to fit someone into some sort of mold. I think there are a lot of desperate people who just want to be loved, but have too high of expectations or too many specifics that if they really just like lowered them or open themselves up, man, love would find them faster than they thought. Also, there's not a lot of people that are comfortable being alone. I think you should like be comfortable with yourself first before you really jump into a relationship.
100, man, bro, you're preaching to the choir here. If you don't like yourself, I don't understand how you expect somebody else to like you. Because it's exactly what I felt in this movie. She didn't like herself, which made it difficult for the men who wanted to love her. She couldn't see their love.
Not Chris Evans, because this is a fantasy.
Even with Chris Evans, I feel like he had to go through that all the way to the end just to be like, I am choosing to love you, despite the fact that I know, to your point, how you said, hey, I know that my fiance family is important. I'm willing to do that. To him, he's like, I know that money is important to you. I'm trying to do something so I can have the money to do those things for you. She couldn't see that.
Okay, I know we're saying we're gonna move on. I got.
Oh like, no, we don't have to move on. There's.
I got two more. First one is like, I thought there was funny. There's a woman who was like, well, I want to date. I want you to set me up with someone who's white, but not just white first. And if we don't find anyone that's white, then I'll open it up to other races. But white first, and she was, you want me to set you up with only white people? Well, all ethnicities just prioritize white. And I thought that was funny because the friend that I was talking to also like was like, I'm only into alternative white guys, and they complained like, well, there's no one for me. And I was like, well, have you thought about? And it started a conversation over like racial preference in dating, which, you know, I personally have never had. So I don't personally get it. I do understand sometimes the logic of it because like the cultural pieces, like sometimes it's easier to date someone within your culture because they already
familiarity
understand, but turning down love because of race, or when you do recognize that you have like this chemistry with someone, is so foreign to me. And my fiance was talking to my mother, you know, and I didn't know that my mom hoped, you know, I brought home someone black. I didn't know that until like I was an adult. I was like, oh, interesting.
A lot of black moms. Yeah.
Well, I just didn't know.
Right. Because she didn't, that's the thing. She didn't raise you that way. But
no,
that doesn't
not
mean
at all.
That's not in the back of their subconscious.
Yeah. So when I kind of think my fiance was like, well, what was his dating prep? When you're like, they want to ask your mom all the questions about you because like, oh, with the doors open, let me try to get all the like
the
dirt. You know, you don't talk to your parents sometimes, so you never know your parents' perceptions of things. And my mom said to Jennifer, which was like, oh, he was always into people who were into him, which is how I historically have dated. Like,
why not?
Yeah, that's it.
Makes sense.
I've been across the racial gamut because I like it's mutual attraction.
Yeah, that's great.
It's an attraction. I like you, you like me. Like it's equivalent. Why am I chasing people that?
Yep. I get what you're saying. Based on some kind of arbitrary standard that somebody somewhere put up, which I think is what I found. I do feel like the movie did get that part right with the people that have all of these stipulations. I want this. Because to your point, it's a journey. It's not a destination.
Yeah.
People grow older. People's bodies change. People get in accidents. People get sick. People do all these things. And if you don't care about the inner character and only care about the outer vessel, you will continually, in my opinion, be unhappy because you're going to have to replace the outer vessel like a sock, I guess. You know, there's not going to be any depth to what it is that you have. And again, I'll leave it with this. That's why when she was saying all of that stuff, I was like, you guys, you were the wrong person for her. Plain and simple. When that line about I'm going to die alone or marry a rich man, same thing. I was like, you were looking at surface level stuff. You were not looking at depth. And I think that's where I started checking out of the movie because I was like, you're saying lines in there that have depth, but you're not showing any of that in this movie.
Well, that's because I think Dakota Johnson rarely shows depth as an actor. Like, it's just like, there's not a lot of emoting. Not saying like she's a good or bad actor, just like leaving it really neutral. Yeah. Watch their filmography. They just don't emote really well. So everything really comes off
whimsical. That's how I felt like she was throughout this whole thing. It was just like,
I wouldn't use whimsical.
Well, I'm saying that I think maybe from an actor perspective, it seems to me like she was just like, I enjoy acting. This is fun.
As an actor, I thought the Chris Evans one was like, are you pandering to some of these people? Like, I was curious if that part was going to resonate with you. I was like, it's hard to date when you have roommates and you're an actor and like in your 30s and people like have started careers, but you're still pursuing the craft. You know, I have been there. I've been financially insecure throughout my like dating life at times, like pursuing the arts and then like. But it didn't stop me from, you've seen me, it didn't stop me from pursuing women. I definitely just felt it internally.
I'm only laughing because, yes, I know. I can verify.
So the other thing I would say about this movie, because I watched another movie recently that was set in a very contemporary setting. I'm going to say this to the director, casting agents, producers in there. Stop using black people as props. Like, either make it an all white or all Asian cast and a city, but like just stop throwing black people in the backgrounds like cups on counters just to be like, this world is diverse. Because this was New York and the majority of the cast is white and Asian.
There is that one black woman who's a conservative that wanted black conservatives or something like that.
Yeah.
That she was there.
This is New York City.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. Like, did I see any?
I saw at the end of the scene when she's going to meet Chris Evans in the park, two like black girls holding tennis rackets walk by.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop it. The other one was weapons, which I really enjoyed the movie. It's a thing that irked me. I don't care if they're in the middle of anywhere. The classroom of children was really diverse, but none of the parents they talked to were like
diverse.
Yeah, so like just don't. I don't mind if you're going to make a movie all white. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just like,
just don't try to fill a quota by putting 1 or 2 is what you're saying.
1 or 2, or literally using them as props. People aren't props.
Yeah,
people aren't props of your world. Be like, see, the world's diverse. Just don't do it. Just like stand on your business and just have a like.
I feel like we talked about this in a podcast where it's like I just wonder if that's just how they see the world. Like people.
Oh, y'all exist over there,
right? Yeah.
I mean,
we're not main characters.
Look, man. I go to visit San Francisco. It's really segregated. I just don't use them as props. And that's my last one for the Materialist.
Yeah, I feel like we could go on and on about the Materialist. Overall, like, look, I think it
was a beautifully shot movie, much like Past Lives. There's a lot of cinematography and stuff that works.
Yeah, I just feel like in Past Lives, I cared a little bit more about the characters than this one. This one, I really tried to connect, even as an actor with like Chris Evans, like you were asking me. I tried to even connect with that. And even still, it was just kind of like, I felt like he was almost a prop in this movie.
Even as someone with like the Pedro Pascal, like I am 5'6". Like I'm not a tall person. That didn't resonate with me at all. I just found it really kind of like depressing and pathetic.
I was going to ask you if you could break your legs and get 6 inches, if you would do so.
No, because I grew up partially in Atlanta playing football. Them boys are just big, and you gotta like, especially if you want to hold they called me like dynamite, like a little cannonball. You learn how to like hold your own, and like you're born with you're born with, and you gotta learn how to play your hand. And I think I've grown up feeling comfortable in my skin because like playing sports, no one made me feel small. Like I know you're big, motherfucker. These boys are like 6 feet, and we're in like 8th grade.
Yep.
Like there's no, what you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. So it didn't resonate with me, and it's not worth it. The cost doesn't seem like, man, you gotta like go through PT. That's not the cost I'm talking about. Late age, like I want to move when I'm 60. That sounds like it's gonna be horrible later on.
Yeah.
Especially someone who historically has dated women who are like, you see me like women who are like 5'10", 6 feet.
Yep.
Still show interest. I think it's about confidence. Like 1,000% on Tinder and Bumble and all these things. Are there women who are heightest? Absolutely. I'm also not chasing those women.
That really, I think, is what it boils down to. Women
who only want to date like white men. Guess what? We're not going to be in the same pool. I'll tell you what. In real life, like when he's like, "Oh, would you?" If I would have came up to you in a wedding, if you are comfortable in your own skin, again, as someone who's been out with me.
Yes.
They're not going to care. They're not going to care. No matter what your sexual orientation is, if someone wants to date or sleep with you, they're going to date or sleep with you.
At the end of the day. And that's what I'm saying about this need for control. This need for control that was permeated throughout this movie did not leave me with the love conquers all. That's why at the end, when she decided to go with Chris Evans, I was kind of like, what was the turnaround? I don't know what made you realize that you are no longer a materialist. Like what?
That one I might disagree. I think
please tell me.
Damn, we really got stuck on this. This movie was like, okay, is it a mark of a decent movie though? Because it starts a conversation. That I will say. I think great films start conversations, and here we are stuck on this loop of the conversations. Like Captain Fantastic was so good because like after watching it, you can't help but to have a conversation about parenting and what you would do. So at anything, it does get a conversation going. What I will say.
I don't know if that's a mark of a great film though, because if you and I,
good film.
I don't even know if I could say good.
Manchester by the Sea?
Yes, that did. But I felt something like it had me discussing, yes.
I did not like La La Land, and that started a conversation.
Yes. So I will say it's an interesting piece of art because, I mean, like you and I could go and eat at a bad restaurant and it could elicit a conversation. Doesn't mean it's a good restaurant. It just elicited a response.
I guess it's not necessarily forgettable either. Like, I don't think it's going to be quotable, but I think it's something that like, oh, okay, it got me thinking enough about dating and what's the name.
Yes, I think that I will say.
I'm a really opinionated person, if no one knows this already by listening at this point. I personally have a really strong core, and not abs, but more so like my soul. So I really have a hard time resonating with characters who are overly weak or insecure, because I'm like, get over it.
Yes. Yeah. Now, that I do know about you, but I'm very curious as to where you saw the change in her. Was it because the Sophie thing?
I think they set up that she was always in love with him really well. From the first moment she saw him, that the director or whoever the actors did really well. Because when she first hugged him, that hug was very long. The pauses were there. What Celine does well, that carries over from Past Life, is longing. In all the scenes with Dakota and Chris Evans, there is this like longing there. It was clear that she loved him and not Pedro Pascal.
I agree. But why did she finally come to the realization that she didn't want the material things?
The scene with Pedro Pascal, when it's like, she realized that for her, love was a non-negotiable, and kind of what the conversation they had at the end when he's like, there's nothing to negotiate because all I have is love. And for her, in the scene with Pedro Pascal, that's what she said, like, love at least has to be on the table. For her, the box that was like uncheckable was love had to be on the table.
Yeah, but where did she come to that realization? Because before, the only thing that she had was that she had to have money.
Yeah, and then she had that life with Pedro Pascal. Like, essentially, he was offering her everything that she said, like, you have the financial security. Even when she was like, love is, he was like, but we'd have this deal. Like, this is what it is.
But that's what I'm trying to figure out. She didn't even give him a chance to fall in love or become in love.
Because she knew herself that she didn't love him. Like, the idea of how I'd have to, like, the arranged marriage thing, which isn't necessarily wrong, which is we'll learn to love each other, to her, which might be a very Western thing, is like, we have to fall in love first. Where sometimes the arranged marriage thing is like, oh man, you learn to love this person. It's just a different view. I don't think there's a better or worse.
Okay, I guess. I mean, look, I'm not arguing. I'm just trying to, there was no shift for me, really.
I saw it.
It just felt to me like she was like, well, I guess I love Chris. He's comfortable. I've been with him for a while. So yeah, let's do something.
I think the willingness to compromise these hard boxes that she thought she had for Chris Evans' character. Like, even the last one, she was like, I'm even thinking about like how broke you are and your shitty car and like sometimes you can't help who you love. And she was willing to like be broke for him. Like, the shift was there. I don't know if it's a Dakota Johnson thing, is like you're not seeing it as much, or just the movie felt really monotone to me as a whole.
You know what it is?
What?
Probably just didn't care about that point in time.
No, I don't care about any of the pathetic characters.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it now, and I was like, was that when I started looking into my phone? Maybe I missed it, because I just was like, meh.
I'm trying to be like,
I know, now I'm being the asshole. You're actually trying to answer my question, and I'm like,
I'm pulling back and trying to like break this down, and like, what's the name? Like, my gut check was like, no, all the characters are fucking pathetic. But
yeah, I think you answered. You did a good job trying, because I realized you're trying, and I still don't care.
Yeah,
I didn't see. I'm just like,
so
pointless.
Let's just briefly talk about this TV show on Netflix forever.
Yes, forever. Go ahead, hit me on it, because I've watched the first episode and half of the second one. It's cute.
Judy Blume adaptation.
Right. Yep. It's two teenagers, basically. Again, I guess a sense of longing. They've known each other since childhood. They were separated, I guess, went to two different schools, and then run into each other, their senior year, I think, or close to that time frame. So it's like childhood kids all the way coming back together at a moment in time, and the love that ensues and watching this. And I will say, I am enjoying, for the first two episodes, the dynamic of how they're trying to get together and how rough it is. Like, I actually do love that there's a lot of miscommunication in the beginning.
Judy Blume does the young love really well. It's like a coming of age romance story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I floated between the main character is on the basketball team, but still a little like alternative or nerdy. He's not your like stereotypical like jock. And he and his childhood friend definitely have like this will they, won't they, but she's dating a traditional jock. So he's like stacking, comparing himself, and he's coming into his own, while what I really like about this show, dealing with his ADHD. And I think this show captured ADHD really well. You really can't make yourself do the thing that you're like, no, you have to do. It's like swimming upstream, and they captured it really well. He can hyper-focus on basketball or music because he's interested in it, but like the grades and his parents being disappointed in him because like he knows what he has to do, and he kind of like self-sabotages a bit. Not fully intentionally, but more so because with ADHD, it's
really hard.
It's very hard. And I think they did a great job of capturing that.
Yeah. I also thought like from what I've seen in the beginning, like the dynamic of dealing with the social media pressures that, you know, we didn't have as teenagers, and trying to find love in all of that, where you have this instant communication and these instant things you can find out about people and stuff.
The social media one is again, someone who's a parent is one that I worry about. When we were growing up, like, you know, I walked 5 miles to school. No, it just sounds, it was so strange getting older.
I know. I said the kids the other day when I was talking to my dad was like, oh, wait, yeah, you're at that point.
Time out. I was at the coffee shop this morning, and this is a conversation between 3 coworkers. One coworker walks up to the counter and was like, oh, so you're a millennial. And the one behind the counter was like, did you just call me a millennial? I'm not a millennial. Like, I was like, oh, geez, I'm fucking old. She's like, I was born in 97. So I'm like, I'm Gen Z.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, geez, you just called her old. so I just thought it was hilarious. Genuinely, if you or I got picked on, it was by 10, 15, 50 people at most. Even if you got picked on by your entire high school, it's max like 200 kids, not 1.5 million,
right.
10 million, 100,000.
Right.
So I think it's bullying in that way. I will definitely have to say is a real thing, and it is harder. Because the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to me during my adolescence was we had a field day. The whole school comes to do a field day. We had an outdoor like bleacher thing that led down to the football field. So you had to walk down the bleachers, these steps, to get to the football field where all the games were laid out. And field days coming to a wrap, and they're doing their award ceremony. And literally the whole school is sitting in these bleachers. And I get called down, and I'm going down the steps, and I slip while there's some water or ice, and I fall down the majority of these fucking steps in front of the whole school. I'm like 12, mortified. I have to like, it takes away from whatever like little silver medal thing I got, that now I'm just like, I just want to slink away somewhere. But then like, that's the only place that lived. Like even today, that doesn't exist anywhere because no one had a phone to record it.
Right. Nobody's going to be like bringing it back up 20 years later just for fun. It's not going to be on some commercial. Yeah. You know, because I've seen some of those things too, where it's like in a commercial or whatnot. So I think that they're, from what I've seen so far, that they're doing it well. I do love it is more Black focused. And one of the things I loved is the mom doing the who, what, where when he wants to go to a party. I grew up with that, where I had to come with what we joke about in our family, a PowerPoint presentation of where we're going to be, who we're going to be with, what time we're going to be home, all that kind of stuff.
My mom's thing was I couldn't go anywhere until she talked to the other parent.
To the other parent. Yep.
And then in that case, the parent themselves had to, I guess, pass some sort of like, I trust you with my kid kind of test. Yep. You know, there are some times where I didn't go, even if she did talk to the parent. I loved, what's his name? The dad. Is it Wood Harris?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's Wood Harris. So the lead character, Wood Harris, he had the coolest parent vibe to me. I didn't think that the mother and the father, like Wood Harris's wife, they had great chemistry. I didn't necessarily believe their relationship, but his to his son, he had this stern yet soft approach to like, I'm not going to kick you. The world's already kicking you. Let this in itself be a lesson that I thought was really nice.
I do love when they show fathers like that, especially in the Black community. Because there's a lot of Black dads. Like, I mean, you, for one, you know, Phil. There's a lot of, it's so weird saying that we're the dads now, but not that I am. I'm single, no kids, but a lot of us.
That's an invitation.
Materialist. Nope. But I love the fact that, you know, I look around and I see like, you know, really great Black dads who are firm, who are, you know, the father figures, but also loving and kind and there for their kids no matter what.
Oh, this show has a lot working for it. It's also about coming into your own, both from her because while we're talking about social media, she goes through some stuff that she did on a video that's shared out everywhere that she has to deal with, and how she overcomes that challenge because she was hiding it from her mom, and that's the reason why she changed schools. And then for him, like not necessarily taking the traditional college route and still finding an avenue of success. And I love stories that kind of reflect that life isn't this like perfectly planned out. You go to school, you go to college, you do
get
the job, you get the
2.5
job.
family, the car with the house and the
Because I was talking to some younger, I guess, Gen Z after my coffee shop thing today, who they're either about to go to college or they're just getting out of college. And, we were young once. We thought we had the world figured out. And I don't get why people are so judgmental. And I love seeing stories like this because life never truly, for the majority of us, work out the way we have like intended or planned. It's twists and turns. You can like be on track. You can be in your first year of residency and you're like, I'm going to be a doctor. And then one of your parents dies or you get an accident yourself. And like life has twists and turns. And it's as long as you keep moving forward, generally, usually always works out. Like people who have like changed their life after going to prison or like it's just... Life is gray, man, and that's okay. It's beautiful shades of gray.
I think that's the best way to sum up this romantic, podcast is life is beautiful. I think both of these, The Materialist and Forever, do show that it is complicated, and these check boxes are not. They're actually a prison for you. Like you just you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. One of the things my mom told me about relationships. She said, you could be in love with somebody and one day they could just wake up and just say, hey, I want something different. That happens. Like you just have to go with things. You just have to.
Interesting your mom says that. I like agree and disagree. I think that the person in that specific scenario who just wakes up one day and says, I want something different is completely in the wrong without giving the other person.
Yeah, she wasn't saying right or wrong.
Okay.
This was not right or wrong. This is life.
Oh yeah, some people just get up. So I guess some people won't just give you the chance.
Right.
Because I've again had a friend who did that. And sometimes a mark of a good friend is like being able to hold each other accountable when you are wrong. And, in this scenario, I was like, hey, I'm not going to stop being your friend over this. But it's more like, what you did to that person was wrong, right? You didn't give them a chance to respond or change. You just like blindsided them. And like that person has the right to be angry because like they had no chance to even compromise or change. I know another couple that did go through a divorce. The wife said like, hey, this is how things are and I'm not happy. And like, I would like things to change. And the husband's response was like, well, things aren't broken and I like how things are. And there was like no willingness or desire to change. He didn't want to get divorced, but he didn't want to change either. And at that point, you're not really working with the other person.
Which again, boils down to life is unpredictable. Communicate as much as possible.
Great, man.
Understand that the check boxes put you in a prison of your own. Discover and find somebody to discover life with, because that's really what it is. Life is a journey, not a destination. And you can end up, I guess, like the end of The Materialist when you realize love is what really matters.
So one thing I think sometimes the rom-com or romance TV model works a little bit better than, I won't say better than film. I say one thing it gives you that film can't really do is you're time boxed into 2 hours. So you didn't feel like you saw a shift because one, the movie was terribly paced in itself with The Materialist. So you really didn't get time to like really invest in this. Whereas Forever and like, I guess this new run of romance shows, you actually have time you have an hour each episode to get deeply involved with each character and their relationship.
I mean, yes, I see what you're saying, but I would have to say, I think both you and I can say there have been movies in the past, I think, that have made me care about the characters.
The Notebook and some classic rom-coms, but even
Notebook made me cry, homie.
Even if The Notebook was a TV show now, it'd give you even more time to get deeply invested in things. It's like, novels.
I agree with that on any platform.
Yeah.
I feel like if it's on a TV, you have more time, which I think is why TV became, so huge in the past decade, because you have more time with the characters. But
No, I agree.
speaking of which, what are your top 5?
Wait, before we jump into top 5, really quick, because this forever is, you were saying about seeing black love and black joy we like to see. So before we jump into top 5, quick throwback, we can highlight it. Did you get a chance to watch, or did you watch Love and Basketball? Because we're supposed to talk about it.
Oh, that was going to be my top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you rewatch it or watch it for the first time?
Yeah, I watched it. Funny enough, I realized watching it, I'd watched parts of it a long time ago, but I needed a refresher on it. And watching it again, it's different watching it older, I think. Okay. I liked it. Something with the pacing as well, I feel, just kind of threw me off on it.
It's not as romantic as you thought either, because they're kind of toxic.
Yeah. Like, that's why I said watching it older.
I did enjoy him dunking on her, though.
At the end.
It's still the coldest move, like Jordan taking that shot. Fuck them kids. It's so disrespectful.
It is, but at the same time, okay, this is probably going to, I feel like we're going to have to go into another podcast on this. At the same time, though, I kind of get where he's coming from, because she dropped this on him like right before the man's getting married.
Yeah.
From an integral standpoint, I'm kind of like, I wouldn't have even played the game. I'd have been like, you can't tell me this right now. Like, why? You had so many years to reach out.
I do, but it's actually so human.
Which is why I'm not super angry about it, because I get it. They've been on this forever. The way that he got rid of her, I thought was kind of cold. Again, human. His dad crushed his reality of what marriage and relationships are like, and he was like, I can't do this right now. I get it. Like, that sucks. That's what happens in life. But to play the game just to dunk on her, it's like, come on.
Okay, that was it. I just wanted to squeeze it in there, more black faces and love and joy.
Yeah.
But I guess since it's on your top favorites, let's roll into favorite all-time rom-coms for you.
Okay. I do love Love and Basketball. I do. I've always had that romantic, nerdy thing about finding that person that you've loved for the longest time, and then it's like, oh, we run into each other again. Okay. You know?
But if you had to pick one out right now, so I got some questions for you.
Ooh, that's tough, because I like Kate and Leopold. I like The Notebook. Notebook made me cry. Shakespeare in Love. I don't know why. Shakespeare in Love also got me emotional. Love and Basketball. Love Actually. Love Actually.
But I guess out of your favorite, what about it is your favorite that makes you stick to it? Whether it's a Notebook and it made you cry, or like...
Again, I think it's like The Notebook is that same thing. That love that is so deep that, like, it doesn't matter if you're separated, you find your way back. Kate and Leopold kind of has that theme because they're outside of time.
Yeah.
And they find each other. I don't even remember Shakespeare in Love, what that whole thing was. I just know I liked Shakespeare in Love.
That was the Gwyneth Paltrow. Shakespeare in Love is on my favorite, and it's not necessarily fully the love story itself, but it's also just a very entertaining movie.
Yeah,
You're like following a young Will Shakespeare as he's trying to like throw on the play.
I think it's just because it's I like historical stuff, period pieces. I love that.
It's more fun than it is fully romantic. It also seems like it has a mini ensemble cast at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Love Actually, I also liked, because I think the entertainment value. I didn't care for Home Dude, who at the end with
the best friend in the sign.
That's the one part of that movie that I'm like, no. But
we always throw him shade, but who was
Alan Rickman's character?
No, not Alan Rickman's character. The wife of the best friend.
Kristen.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Keira Knightley.
Keira Knightley's character is, I think, when you think like, oh, she's trying to like protect she doesn't want him to lose his best friend.
Yeah.
Nah, homegirl, you need to be honest with your man to let him know he's got like a snake of a friend.
Yeah.
That's not the type of best friend you want in your life, in your corner at the end of the day.
Nope. No, because he's going to be telling you all sorts of stuff that he's trusting you with, and you don't know what he's scheming in the background.
So also I proxy know a story of someone who like snakes someone else's husband. Like they were two best friends. They both got married. One relationship didn't work out, so the other one started talking to the other one's husband and then stole that person's husband.
Aye.
And I was like, that's supposed to be your like your ride or die best friend. That's like, I would want to know. Like, yeah.
But those are mine, and I'm starting to realize that that's a theme I have. I think I love like the idea of love so strong, like you just know. like that cheesy, romantic, like Destiny type love where it's just like, I do feel bad for the other people who come into those stories who try to take the person, but they realize, nope, this is me. Like, this is who I'm supposed to be. But where it's on a spiritual level.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What about
you?
My top, the top one that I go to when people ask this is Ryan Reynolds' Definitely Maybe is like my number one, because I think it's the closest one that not only is entertaining, but reflects what life can be like. We just talked about the beautiful grays. So the movie is like Ryan Reynolds is a divorced single dad and he's putting his daughter to bed and he's like, she's going to be going back to her mom's. So she's asking for kind of like bedtime story. Tell me about how you and mom met. So he's telling her his history of dating and the 3 women that he loved. And one of them is your mom. So she has to guess which one is her mom in the story. So he starts from the beginning of his life, and I think it's Isla Fisher is in the beginning, and then in the middle is what's her name? Rachel Weisz. And then at the end, and I might be mixing these up in this order, is Elizabeth Banks. So you're trying to guess as the audience, like the little girl, which woman that in his life that he was in love with is her mom. By the end of it, you find out that the mom is Elizabeth Banks, but they're divorced. But the daughter realizes through the story that the one he's in love with and that he's still in love with to today is Isla Fisher, and he needs to go find her. And I thought that was the most realistic one, because when you date, especially if you're dating for someone for like 5 years, it doesn't work out. You date someone for 7 years, it doesn't work out. You don't spend 5 years with someone and not like still love them to a degree.
Yeah.
There's always that residual, like, at least I want you to do well or what's. And sometimes you still are genuinely in love with that person and like it didn't work out for whatever reason. So I think it's like the like left and come back. So I think there's some overlap there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's one of my favorites, if not my favorite one. The Big Sick was also really, really good. I wouldn't say it's necessarily realistic. It seems like a really specific scenario of like you go on a date with someone and they fall ill and you feel like, I don't want to just like abandon you. But it was cute the way like he starts connecting with the mom and they're both there and he kind of sticks around. I really enjoyed The Big Sick. And then another one that I never forget, and sorry that this is really long-winded, so I'll leave it after 3, is But I'm a Cheerleader. With the success of Natasha Lyonne now, she's someone that I had a crush on when I was younger. Yeah. And for me, it always goes back to But I'm a Cheerleader, which way ahead of their time, because this cheerleader is sent to essentially a gay conversion camp, which doesn't help because she ends up falling in love with a girl while she's there. It started out as like, oh, I have like a crush on Natasha, and then to like actually just really like this film, especially what's going on now today. I think it's still a really like resonant film. But yeah, But I'm a Cheerleader.
All right, I'll have to add. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to add that, and definitely maybe
Something's Got to Give. Not a deep cut, but also not an ageist. Like men usually date younger, and then find out dating someone your own age, and Something's Got to Give.
That's a good one.
Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton is up there for me.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has actually been really cathartic.
And if you're listening, as we're wrapping this up, if you do follow us on anything when we make the post, send us your favorite rom-com. What's something that we not necessarily missed? What's a movie that like hits with you? There's so many rom-coms. I can just like grab,
I would love to know.
Or just romance films.
Because I think the world could use a bit more love. And the beauty of it.
Also, just want to plug 2 rom-coms that I'm personally looking forward to coming up. The romance rom-coms, Eternity, which we talked about.
During
our A24 time, that should be coming out next month.
Yeah, they're day 1.
Just, what if you die and both of your loves are in the afterlife, but you only can spend the rest of eternity with one? Just such a good premise.
I would cry.
It's just, I'm looking forward to that. And a really fun one that's kind of a cult classic with Sandra Bullock is Practical Magic.
Yeah.
And they're making a Practical Magic 2, which probably won't be till next year, but just 2 things that are up and coming that I'm personally looking forward to that I'll watch. Yeah, rom-coms and romance films. Yeah, we need more love right now.
Yep. And so with that, you can follow us at the Open Queue on Instagram, as well as you can follow me personally at Shaka Omari, ShakaOmari on Instagram. And you can follow Charles on Goodbelly.
At Goodbelly. No, at the Belly app.
On the Belly app.
My name is Goodbelly on the Belly.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
app. And if you want like a good, I guess date night spot right now, Tochin Ramen and like at the top of Largemont in Largemont is actually a pretty good ramen spot that has this like really great mood lighting on top of like delicious ramen. And they have a dessert. They have this whole shaved ice thing. Forget that. You can get shaved ice anywhere. They have something called a Tokyo banana. That's like a banana pudding with like they like flame the banana so it's crispy. It's such a fire banana pudding.
Okay. Well, you heard it here from Goodbelly on the Belly app. All right. We'll see you next time in the queue. The Open Queue is an Open Queue production. If you like the show, be sure to follow, rate, and review it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. And tell your friends and fam to do the same. Also, feel free to share a link to someone who you think might really enjoy this conversation. The music you're currently listening to is called Deal, from the movie Materialist, composed by Daniel Pemberton. Until next time, be kind, be hopeful, be loving. The world can use a little bit more of that. And until then, we'll see you in the queue.